Theological Pipe.
That whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes!
I'm your huckleberry.
The phrase theological pipe, the idea of theological pipe, the podcast is twofold, really. For me, if you listen to some of my older intros, it's to look at everything, sports, politics, culture, music, everything from a theological perspective, that there is a God. And that's something I believe. And I think it's something that if you put truth serum in just about anybody, they're going to at least come to the conclusion that there's a God, or there could be a God. And the whole idea is to look at things from that perspective. I think that's missing in the news, in the media, in movies, in music, a lot of it. And so that's where the idea for theological pipe came up, where I came up with the idea for theological pipe, just to look at things from a theological perspective. The phrase theological pipe came from a youth camp that I was a youth pastor years ago, and one of the pastors, Matt Chandler, who has a church in Texas, he was preaching, and he would hit the students and the people, the adults that were there. He'd hit them with some questions that were really interesting, and it really made you think. And he would look at people and he would say, "Put that in your theological pipe and smoke it." And the idea is for you to think about what he just said, and usually it wasn't what he said, it was what God said in the Bible, or what Paul said, or what Jesus said, or some phrase or some idea, and you'd have this preconceived notion of what it meant, and then you'd be hit with something else, and you'd be like, "Ooh, how do I put those two things together? How do I justify those two things?" And it was a theological pipe. Put that in your theological pipe and smoke it. Put that in your pipe and smoke it just means put it in your pipe, think about it, ruminate on it, wrestle with it in your mind. And so that's the idea of theological pipe. And so for this episode, what I'm going to do is we're going to watch, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to watch a lyric video of this song. If you're listening, you'll be able just to listen. And I'll tell you the song here in a minute, but it's by a guy named Todd Agnew. The song is My Jesus by Todd Agnew. He's a Christian singer, songwriter, teacher. I think he's even gone to get his doctorate degree, and is doing teaching and stuff like that nowadays. Just a good dude. I had the privilege of meeting the guy, and again, this was 20-something years ago, a long time ago, as a youth pastor. This was the MySpace days. I'll tell a quick story before we get into the video to look at it and talk about it, and why I think it's just a great example of a theological pipe type song. There's questions that make you just think, and you have to go, and you put that in your theological pipe and you think about it. But we were going to a youth camp. I was taking a youth group to a youth camp, and I believe it could have been Missouri. No, actually, I think it was New Mexico. I think this was a New Mexico camp, or Florida. We went to different places, and we knew, I think it was a student life camp. They're an organization that puts on youth camps. And we knew who the pastor and who the musician, the worship leaders were going to be. And Todd Agnew was going to be the worship leader. And at that time, he was starting to get some popularity in Christian circles with the song called Grace Like Rain, and the Thunder song from his first album. And again, this was MySpace days. That's how long ago it was. And so I sent him a message on MySpace, just saying, "Hey, we're coming to camp. There's going to be thousands of people there. Usually there was about 1,000 students there. Hey, we're coming to camp. If you want to hang out with our group, that'd be great. Looking forward to seeing you, praying for you, that kind of stuff." Hit send on the MySpace message, and that was it. Didn't hear anything back. Didn't expect to hear anything back from him. Went to camp. And as the youth pastor, we had moments where we would go in and have leadership meetings to they were letting us know how the camp was going to go and what things were going to happen. And as we're walking to the meeting, Todd Agnew was walking to the meeting too, and he walks up and he looks at me and he says, "MySpace Chris." And I just laughed. I was like, how did you know my name? And he's like, "Well, you sent me a message. Appreciate it. We've been praying for everybody, and it was nice that you sent the message." And so from that moment, anytime we saw each other, we would, be nice to each other, say hey, and all that kind of stuff. And it was kind of cool just talking to him. He's a down to earth, good dude, and we had some common interests and stuff like that. And then, friends of ours who were adults, he talked to them, and we just had a good time hanging out with him. And I think he appreciated having some adults that were sort of his age that he could hang out with instead of having to hang out with a bunch of teenagers when it was time to just kind of hang out. And we stayed in touch. Through email, and then every time he would have a concert in the Tulsa area where I'm from, we'd go see him and we'd talk and stuff like that. I'm not going to say he's a friend, but I consider him a brother in Christ, and just cool. He's a down-to-earth, cool dude, and I always thought it was really cool that he got tons of messages, but the fact that he recognized, again, I shave my head and have a goatee and stuff like that, so I guess I don't look like other people. So he just recognized me, and the fact that he recognized me, said hey to me, it was pretty cool. So the thing I liked about his music is, it was kind of bluesy, it was kind of rocky, it was kind of, there was some hard songs, but he also could do worshipful moments. His songs that he wrote, and not cover songs, but the songs that he wrote, they just were hard-hitting, good questions, made you think. And this song that I'm going to play, to me, is one of the greatest and most underrated Christian songs ever written. From start to finish, it's probably, again, 15, 20 years old right now. I'm not really sure. It comes from the album called Reflections of Something. And it's just the song that from the start to the finish grabs me. It makes me think every time I listen to it. So I want to listen to it. I'll stop it every once in a while, again, trying to make sure we don't get copyright infringements and stuff like that from YouTube. And again, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, any of those platforms, maybe you could go and just Google the lyrics and listen, because we're going to do a lyric video. It's going to have the lyrics playing on the screen as the song plays. I'll stop the song every once in a while just to kind of give you an idea of why I love this song and why I think it's an important song for Christians, for believers, for people to think about. To me, it's almost like a modern day Sermon on the Mount kind of thing, and you'll get that idea as we play it if you haven't heard it. If you've heard it, you know the song and you'll just appreciate the song. If you haven't heard it, I would encourage you, after I'm done babbling about it, go back and listen to it again on your own and just listen to the lyrics, listen to the music, listen to what he's saying. So this is My Jesus by Todd Agnew. And let's see if I can get it playing for us real quick. Give me 1 second here to get it started. And My Jesus, Todd Agnew.
Imitate Christ. Why do you look so much like the world?
Okay, could there be any more of an amazing, hard-hitting, punch-in-the-gut question than that? Which Jesus do you follow? Which Jesus do you serve? If Ephesians says to imitate Christ, why do you look so much like the world? And that hits me every time I hear it, because... And it's especially, I think it's an especially poignant question for people that live in the United States of America. We are blessed beyond belief here. And we have, a great system that allows people to rise above, their means and make money and achieve their dreams and all the things that make America great. But the problem is there's the world and then there's the kingdom of God. All of us, if you're listening to this, we want better. We want better cars. We want a nicer house. We want more money. We want to get a raise. We want to have the newest gadgets. We want to have the newest phone. We want to have the newest computer. We like the new iPads. We like the new Androids. Whatever. We want to be famous. We want to be TikTok famous. We want to have people follow us on Snapchat and Instagram. That's what we're focused on. And this question, the first thing out of the box from this song is, Do you want to be like Jesus, or do you want to be like the world? And man, think of who Jesus is. Think of what he did when he was here. And I just love the opening part of that of the song. The first thing he said is just hard hitting and a great question. And I think all believers need to ask themselves, if Ephesians says to imitate Christ, why do you look like the world so much?
Because my Jesus bled and died. He spent his time with thieves and liars. He loved the poor and accosted the arrogant. So which one do you want to be?
Again, I'm going to keep stopping, and I'm not going to really worry about time on this one, just because, again, another question. And again, every one of these questions to me is, again, right in vein with a theological pipe moment. Put that in your theological pipe and smoke it. If Ephesians says to imitate Christ, why do you look so much like the world? Put that in your theological pipe and smoke it. And because Jesus, he hung out with people that nobody wanted to hang out with. Jesus accosted the arrogant. So which one do you want to be? Do you want to be the arrogant? Do you want to be the it's all about me? Do you want to be the prideful? Do you want to be the one that, again, makes everything about them? Well, Jesus doesn't want to. Jesus accosted those people. He hung out with the thieves and the liars and the least of these. And again, time after time in this song, there's a question, and it just makes you think. And again, that's why this song, it deserves repeated listen. So when you're done, again, when we're done with this video, if you haven't heard this song before, go listen to it again. If you've heard the song before, so what? Go listen to it again anyway. It's just, again, another great question, another great, second verse, second line, question after question, just makes you think.
Blessed are the poor in spirit. Till we pray to be blessed with the wealth of this land.
I'm going to stop again, and I'm not apologizing for stopping. I think there's just so many good nuggets from this song. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Or do we pray to be blessed with the wealth of this land? Again, this comes from the Sermon on the Mount, which is why I said it's similar to the Sermon on the Mount, the song. But think about blessing, the term blessing. I mean, we have a real problem in America with the prosperity gospel, which is not biblical at all. But think about the term blessing. I'll even bet that some of even the most committed, humble spiritual Christians, that when someone mentions the word blessing, 9 times out of 10, maybe more, they automatically go to money. They automatically go to things. And it's really kind of something just to think about. Again, when the Bible talks about blessing, I'm not saying there aren't material blessings. I'm not saying there aren't monetary blessing. There are. But it's deeper than that, joy and peace and contentment and happiness and faith and patience. Those are blessings. And, are you, again, here it says, blessed are the poor in spirit. Those are the ones that recognize that they need something. They need help to get connected with God. They're poor in spirit. Those are the ones that are blessed. Why are we praying to be blessed with stuff? And again, another great thing to just put in your theological pipe and think about and smoke it.
Blessed are they that hunger and thirst for righteousness. Do we ache for another taste of this world of shifting sand? 'Cause my Jesus bled and died for my sins. He spent his time with thieves and sluts and liars. He loved the poor and accosted the rich.
Again, I'll stop here. I feel like I can stop at every single slide. I can stop and point something out about this, about the lyrics and the song. But think about what he says here. Jesus bled and died for my sins. He spent his time with thieves and sluts and liars. And I love that line mainly because, again, a Christian artist speaks the truth and says he did spend time with thieves and liars and sluts. And the fact that he used the word sluts in the song, and it doesn't take away from it. It's not used for shock value. It's the truth. Jesus spent his time with those people. He loved the poor and accosted the rich. Which one do you want to be? Right? Again, we're in the United States of America. We all want more. We always think that if I just had a little bit more, I would be more content than I am now. And then what happens when you get a little bit more? You want a little bit more, and you want a little bit more. And Jesus warned against that thing about wanting to be rich and wanting to gain money. You know the verse, the love of money is the root of all evil. And it's tough because when you get some, you want more. And when you get more, you want a little bit more. And again, I just love this line too. He loved the poor and accosted the rich.
So which one do you want to be? Who is this that you follow? This picture of the American dream.
Okay, another great question. Who are you following? Is it the American Jesus? Or is it the biblical Jesus, the real Jesus? There's another really good song if you want to listen to a different song it's not as, I don't want to say deep because it's a deep song. I think this one's a little bit more deeper and more biblically based. But there's a group called Down Here, and they have a song called The Real Jesus. And it kind of has this same idea. Who are you following? Who do you picture Jesus as? Is he an American that walks around with, cowboy boots and, believes in the Second Amendment and, waves the American flag? Or is he Jesus, the Son of God, the biblical Son of God? And so I just like this question again. Who is this that you follow? This picture of the American dream, is that who you follow? Or are you following Jesus? And we need to be careful as Christians to not let our Americanism influence our Christianity. We need Christianity to influence everything else. We need to be careful when we put qualifiers in front of words. It's Christianity. If you put American Christianity, you've just modified Christianity, right? If you put evangelical Christianity, you just modified Christianity. If you put conservative Christianity, progressive Christianity, whatever you put in front of it, you're modifying it. And it shouldn't be modified. It's Christianity. And it should modify your progressivism. It should modify your conservatism. It should modify your Americanism. It should modify your life. And so I just think it's something, again, to put in a theological pipe and smoke and think about and wrestle with. Okay, another good question, and I know what most of us are thinking. Well, of course, if Jesus were here, I'd fall down and worship at his holy feet. And I think about that a lot. Would you? Because think about what happened in the New Testament to the disciples who were followers of Jesus, who saw him die, and then the body was gone, and the women came and said he was resurrected, and then they're walking down the street, and Jesus is walking right next to them, and they don't recognize him. We all think that we'd be the ones to recognize him. Maybe we wouldn't. And I also think that, a lot of times, what would happen if I came face to face with Jesus? Now, again, my hope is that I would fall down and worship at his holy feet. But I also wonder sometimes if I'd try to hide. Like if I'd go to, I don't know if I'd necessarily run away so I couldn't see him, but I wonder if I'd go like behind a tree to just kind of peek around and see him, because I wouldn't want him to see me, and because he knows me, right? He doesn't know just the face that I put to the world. He knows everything. And so again, I think if Jesus were here, would you walk right by on the other side, or would you fall down and worship at his holy feet? It's another good question, another good to think about, another good thing to put into your theological pipe and smoke.
is how you see him as he dies for your sins. But the word says he was battered and scarred. Did you miss that part? Sometimes I doubt we'd recognize him. 'Cause my Jesus bled and died. He spent his time with thieves and the least of these. He loved the poor and the cost and the comfortable. So which one do you want?
Okay, another question. Another thing to put into your theological pipe and smoke. Who does Jesus spend time with? Does he spend time with the arrogant, with the rich, with the famous, with the prideful, or does he spend time with those who know that they have a need? The poor in spirit, the least of these, the thieves, the sluts, the liars. And again, just something to think about when you think about what you need from Jesus. Which one do you want to be? Do you want to be someone that Jesus spends time with? Or do you think you have it all figured out? And so again, just another great question, and we'll keep listening.
Cause my Jesus would never be accepted in my church. The blood and dirt on his feet might stain the car.
Okay, so another thing to think about, and you've probably seen some videos on YouTube. If not, you can go look them up of, a pastor of a church dressing up as a homeless person to see how some of the people at his church would respond to him. You may have even, you've been at part of churches where someone different comes in. Forget about, Jesus with the blood and the dirt on his feet might stain the carpet. Think about someone that comes in that smells. Maybe they have alcohol on their breath. Think about someone who comes in that's got tattered clothes on, or ripped up clothes, or someone that dresses in a style that you think is weird because you're an old fogey like me, and they're wearing their hair weird and stuff like that, and they have piercings all over and tattoos. I mean, I got a sleeve tattoo, but you get the point. We judge people when we see them, and you think about this. Would Jesus even be accepted in some of the churches? They have it so programmed and so packaged and so overproduced that maybe they don't have time for a bloody homeless-looking dude to walk in and for them to make time for that. And again, he's going to go into some stuff here. I love the way he phrases it. I love the way the music goes with this song. So he says, "Would Jesus even be accepted in my church? The blood and the dirt on his feet might stain the carpet." Okay, so I'm gonna stop this here, and then I'm gonna let it go because it's getting ready to come up to the part of the song where I get goosebumps every time I hear it. Like I said, this song is just so impactful and so great, so packed full of so many things to think about. Jesus reaches for the hurting and despises the proud. He goes, "I think he'd prefer Beale Street to the stained glass crowd." And you only need to look to the New Testament to see how Jesus treated the religious leaders of his day. He had the harshest criticisms, not for the woman caught in adultery, not for the tax collector, not for people who had questions about him. He had the toughest criticisms for the religious leaders of his day. And he's sitting here saying through this whole song is we need to rethink who Jesus is and who he spends time with, and how we react to him. And again, there's a part coming up. I'm going to let it play. You'll see me get excited when it comes on because again, the vocals on this, the music, everything just works. And this is my favorite part of the song. Again, goosebumps every time. I almost want to go and rewind it and just play that again. Repeating it over and over, screaming it. I want to be like my Jesus. I mean, what a great like crescendo of the song, and just an incredible moment. Again, goosebumps. I just fist pumping. Like, yes, I want to. And then he has a really great ending that we'll listen to, and then we'll wrap this up. So listen to this part.
And popularity, I wanna be like my Jesus, but I'm not sure what that means, to be like you, Jesus, 'cause you said to live like you, to love like you, but then you died. But for me, can I be like you, Jesus? I wanna be like you, Jesus. I wanna be like my Jesus.
Man, that's just beyond good. And I'll stop this. Sorry about that. It's restarting. Maybe we'll just listen to it again. So, man, I can't say enough about that song. And I can't say enough about the lyrics, and I can't say enough about the crescendo, and I can't say enough about kind of like the outro part. He's like, I want to be like my Jesus. But I'm not sure what that means, right? That's something we wrestle with all the time, and it's good to wrestle. It's good to question things. It's good to put things into a theological pipe and think about them, and think about where you are. The Bible, if you're a believer and you read the Bible, it says that you're supposed to give yourselves checkups. You're supposed to check your faith and see where you are in the faith. And this song for me is, again, it's question after question after question. And I've not listened to this song and just kind of said, I don't really care about the questions he's asking. Again, this song is my favorite Christian song, one of my favorite songs of all time. Again, I don't want to label it Christian song. It's a song. It's an incredible song from an incredible songwriter. If you're not familiar with Todd Agnew, you need to go look. This is just one of his many great songs, but to me, this is his best. And I just love the song. And again, I think it's a theological type song. It's something that when you listen to it, you have to think about it. I don't think that if you even put half an effort into listening to the song and looking at the lyrics and reading the lyrics and listening to the lyrics, I don't think that you can just sit passively by and not think about them. And I think that's the beauty of this song. And so I wanted to share it. I think it's a great song for any time, but especially times like this when Christians, the world needs us. The world needs Jesus. It needs us. We're ambassadors of Christ. We're called to go shine the light of Jesus on the world. We're called to be salt and light to the world. And we do that by being like Jesus. We don't do it by being more like a political party. We don't do it being more like, Captain America, Uncle Sam, whatever you want. And there's nothing wrong with Captain America. It's great. He's a great comic book hero. But we do it by being more like Jesus. And I want to be like my Jesus. But I'm not sure what that means. I'm still wrestling with it. I still fail probably more times than I succeed, but I'm going to keep wrestling. I'm going to keep putting things in my theological pipe and smoking it and thinking about those things to be more like Jesus. So I can love more and I can serve more and I can shine the light more. Because again, the world needs it. And if you don't think the world needs Jesus, all you need to do is go on social media for 5 minutes. Watch the news for 3 minutes. Listen to any speech from any politician or any talking head or anything. Just watch what's going on. The world is crying out. And guess what? We have the answer as believers. So that's your theological pipe moment. Put that song in your theological pipe and smoke it and think about it and listen to it. So again, if you haven't heard that song before, I hope you go and just re-listen to it from start to finish, and I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. And if you've heard the song before, go listen to it again anyway, and think about what he's saying, and ask yourself, wrestle with those questions. Do you want to be more like the world, or do you want to be like Jesus? Ask yourself, or do you want to be arrogant, or do you want to be humble? And wrestle with those things and see where you are, so we can go out and do what he's called us to do, which is to shine the light of Jesus. So, again, mad props to Todd Agnew for that incredible song, and I hope you liked it. Put that in your theological pipe and smoke it, and we'll see you next time.
Well, bye.